Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the marketplace. Coming up, African petroleum producers wrap up engagements towards zero routine gas flaring, calling for stricter regulations with penalties for violators.
Operators also and the industry in general, they are also working on implementing measures that will, if not eliminate, at least minimize all these actions.
So coming up, Dutch government to invest some 4 million euros in Ghana's agri sector to boost production.
We are really eager to work with Ghana. So the amount that we invest in Ghana right now as a government is 20 million euros. And the amount for agriculture specifically is 4 million euros.
Plus, Government Defense State Pension Trust SSNIT moved to sell 60% of its stake to Rock City Hotel, owned by the Greek minister.
Let us get other people who are able to inject capital so that these facilities are revamped, they are fixed in such a way that they will be competitive and generate more revenue. It's a good thing.
Ahead, we'll discuss the political implications of this business transaction in our business and politics segment. My name is Darryl Kwal. Thanks for being with us. Details coming up. Thanks for staying with us, everyone. First up, Ghana's 2014 policy to eliminate gas flaring was meant to coincide with the nation's operational gas infrastructure. However, industry stakeholders haven't consistently followed the policy. Meanwhile, the Director of Research at the APPO Secretariat, Dr. Taha Naja, is calling for stricter regulations with penalties for violators. He addressed this concern at the APPO Roundtable Conference held in Accra.
The IEA posits that the global energy industry is responsible for 135 million metric tons of methane released into the atmosphere in 2022. It's in this light that the Apple Roundtable Conference on gas flaring and fugitive methane emission was aimed at bringing industry players across Africa together to discuss a roadmap towards zero routine gas flaring. Head of Research at Apple, Dr. Taha Naja, believes this goal is achievable.
African oil and gas producers can control and minimize or even eliminate gas flaring or routine gas flaring and methane emissions. Everybody is aware of this need, and everybody is putting together regulatory framework, incentives and sanctions to make sure that operators they do not take it easy when it comes to gas flaring. They have to take permission, and in many cases they are penalized for that. They have to pay fees for burning gas. So, and then the operators also and the industry in general, they are also working on implementing measures that will, if not eliminate, at least minimize all these actions.
Policy analyst at the Africa Center for Energy Policy, Ali Ilyasu, revealed that Ghana's methane emissions is on the rise.
The trends have actually been on an upward trend, even though Ghana actually has a no flaring policy. And the reason for this is partly because we do not have the capacity to actually absorb the gas. In the course of oil and gas exploration, especially with associated gas, there is a need sometimes to release the pressure from the fields, and so they have no other option but to actually flare it. But if we had the infrastructure, the LNG infrastructure, to actually make use of these gases, then the incidences of flaring would be reduced. But in a scorecard assessment, our emissions through flaring has actually been on an upward trend.
The 2024 Apple Roundtable Conference was in collaboration with the Petroleum Commission and the Ministry of Energy.
Now, the Dutch government will invest some 4 million euros into Ghana's agri sector to boost production. This is according to Netherlands Agriculture Minister Marca. She says the country is committed to leveraging its expertise to support Ghana to improve its agri sector. She spoke to Joy Business after her visit to some players within the value chain.
The Netherlands, according to the Agriculture Minister, is the second largest exporter of agricultural products in the world and has the potential to share knowledge, technology and investment opportunities to support efficient use of land in the country.
Of course, I know that Ghana has a really young population with a lot of young people who are really willing and eager to work, to find a job, and agriculture, like in the Netherlands, is really a very good sector for a lot of young people to be active in, because it's the future. You need food security here on the continent, and as the Netherlands we are really eager to work with Ghana. So the amount that we invest in Ghana right now as a government is 20 million euros, and the amount for agriculture specifically is 4 million euros.
Country Director for IDH Ghana, Bernard Asugri, said his outfit is working to collaborate more in addressing challenges affecting the agricultural sector.
IDH have a strategic partnership with the government of the Netherlands, and in Ghana and globally we convene market transformation on global supply chains. We are doing the same thing in Ghana, but in the horticulture sector we are seeking to enable more access to market development, and so with the partnership on horticulture and business platform and all the actors, we are convening the sector to bring all the producers and the market together to be able to plan production and supply.
Projects coordinator for the horticulture business platform, Barnabas Apom, said the focus is on private sector development.
Now that we have moved away from aid and we are focusing more on trade, there is a lot of emphasis on partnership and then businesses. So that's one fact. And over the years, what the Dutch government has done is that they support projects. So they started with Ghana Veg. It was a 5-year project where it finished after 5 years. And then we changed it to Hortifresh.
With a membership base of over 100 organizations, ranging from small enterprises to multinationals, the Ghana-Netherlands Business and Culture Council offers an extensive range of services and events to both existing and new members.
Now, the Association of Ghana Industries, in collaboration with GIZ, has launched a €400,000 project to boost the capacity of SMEs to ensure their scalability. The African SME Network for Exchange and Trade project will provide machinery and technical support for selected SMEs to boost efficiency and increase production. Here's more in this report.
SMEs in Ghana face a $4.8 billion funding gap, with SMEs accounting for about 70% of Ghana's GDP. The growth of the sector will greatly boost the socio-economic development of the country. Frantic efforts such as the African SME Network for Exchange and Trade, which is a collaboration between the German government and the Association of Ghana Industries, seeks to increase the production capacity and export readiness of small and medium enterprises in Ghana. The project, which will provide equipment and machinery supports for SMEs, catered for 65 small and medium enterprises in its first phase. Chief Executive of AGI, Seth Chumakwabwa, spoke at the launch of the African SME Network for Exchange and Trade.
We did the first phase, which involved about 65 enterprises. We provided them with basic equipment and machinery. And the enterprises that got it have actually upscaled and have created more jobs. So we went to the second phase and we've gone through the same process, and today we've selected about 55 companies that are also going to benefit in this phase. It's all experimenting the concept of deploying resources to the SMEs without necessarily giving direct funding, physical cash to the enterprises, but then helping them through equipment purchase and then also machinery to be able to augment and upscale their projects.
President of AGI, Dr. Humphrey Eyim Dake, highlighted the technical support the project offers.
Access and cost of funding is currently expensive, and it's always been the case. So when an SME seeks to scale up, such investments in capex technically are sunk costs, and therefore it takes time to recoup over the period. And therefore, if you go for high cost of funding or to invest, it can be challenging. And it could be challenging for you to break even. And therefore, if you get a partnership with an institution like GIZ, advancing funding to purchase those capex or those equipment that needs time to give you the ROI that you need. It's amazing, and this is what we think we'll be asking government and we're asking other DIs to partner us to do.
Projects lead for Invest for Jobs at GIZ, John Duty, is hopeful that targeted funding will unlock the potential of Ghana's SME sector and create jobs.
Decent jobs at the end of the day. We want the SMEs to grow, and we're talking about growth-oriented SMEs. We have a lot, millions of SMEs in Ghana, but we categorize them. We have the growth-oriented ones, those who've made moves, those who need just a little support to get over the edge. So we hope that they would expand, access markets both locally and internationally, and by so doing sell good quality products and decent incomes, expand, and by so doing employ more.
The second phase of the program will support about 50 SMEs.
In other news, Development Bank of Ghana says it will be leveraging technology to de-risk the financial sector to make access to finance easier and more cost-effective to small and medium enterprises. According to the bank, it is imperative to make the financial sector more conducive and attractive for SMEs to access funds for growth and development. Speaking to Joy Business, Board Chairman of DBG, Dr. Yahanso stated that it will be keen on supporting startups in the technology space.
I think that partnership will help. I mean, we are very much interested in the risk, using technology to de-risk the financial sector, make it easier for small or medium enterprises and startups and stuff to be able to access financing without a lot of hassle, in a way that's fast and quick, that doesn't prolong too much, and in a way that's also cost effective, that allows them to, I mean, there are two aspects. The financial sector to make it more efficient for things to move smoothly. And also we as DBU are very much interested in supporting startups, technology. I mean, if you were, I don't know whether you attended the conference and the Innovative Center. I mean, I was really blown away by the number of young Ghanaian youth, the enterprises and the kind of stuff that they're doing. You know, there's a number of Ghanaian companies that are doing a lot of interesting stuff that really need support. And I think this is something that we hope going forward we'll be able to, working with participating financial institutions, PFIs, help support the ones with the potential. So there will be the tech side, startup side, and also leveraging technology to make sure that the lending business and de-risking is also done right.
Some fund management companies have indicated that they are still being affected by the financial sector cleanup exercise that took place in 2017. However, they say there are prospects for the sector which will ensure growth soon. Chief Executive Officer for Eco Capital, Dela Agbo, is urging the public to take advantage of offerings of credible investment firms.
We have successfully gone through a lot of challenges, from the challenge of men's goal challenges through the challenge of financial cleanup, and then now the debt restructuring. And we have gone through all those different phases that has actually impacted the investors' confidence, such that with all these challenges, some of the clients, instead of continue to invest, now many of them have turned into buying dollars, keeping dollars, rather than investing into other securities and assets. All these challenges has actually affected the growth, the sustainability of the investment firms. But through it all, we are still hopeful for the opportunities ahead, the expansion, the investor confidence that will come. Because we have a robust investment system in Ghana, with the stock market doing so well, this year so far, the Ghana Composite Index has returned close to 19%, which means that in spite of the election that is coming up, there's still confidence in the stock market. And we as investment firm, as we celebrate our 10th anniversary, we continue to urge Ghanaians and investing public all over the world to continue to invest.
I think that at this stage, it might be necessary for the SSNIT board to just stop the transactions.
Why?
Because, one, the procedure they've used is not the best. You see, SSNIT is a pension fund, and it's a long-term investor. It is not a bank holding deposit. So SSNIT investments are analyzed from various perspectives. You just, therefore, don't exit from SSNIT investments that way.
All right, so you just heard that the former Director General of SSNIT, Ernest Thompson, speaking about the Rock City SSNIT deal that is big news this week. We want to mix a bit of business and politics. In studio with me, Kweku Asante, who is part of the Joint News Political Desk, to make sense of this and what sort of political damage there is to this. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio. So, I mean, essentially, Mr. Thompson is saying that we should halt the deal. Why is it a big deal, this story?
It's a big deal because the protagonist at the center of all this, Brian Achampon, is wearing two hats. Mm-hmm. He's a businessman and he is a politician. And in politics, he's not in the opposition. He is in government. He's a member of parliament for the New Patriotic Party in Abetifi in the Eastern region. He's also currently the Minister for Food and Agriculture. He's a cabinet minister at that. And prior to this, he was also a Minister of State at the Interior Ministry. So he has clear intertwining when it comes to politics. But he's also a big businessman because if for nothing at all, we know that he owns the Rock City Hotel. It is touted as perhaps the biggest in Africa. That is what its website says. And they say they've been doing quite some good business. And so when someone who sits in cabinet, where perhaps this decision might have gone through for some approval, is now the one seeking to buy it, then he raises some issues. And Okudjota Blackwell as well, a member of the opposition, because this clearly is becoming a political football, both political parties seeking to score some political points ahead of the 2024 election. The NDC is benching this deal as sort of an insider deal of persons closer to President Akufo-Addo seeking to take over state assets ahead of a possible exit of the New Patriotic Party in 2024. So this is why it's a big deal. Brian Achampon, the gentleman at the center of this, is a businessman, he's a politician, he's a cabinet minister.
Well, he's a businessman, he's succeeding at running his hotels. Why shouldn't he be best placed to invest in?
Exactly. The question that people have rather asked is that there is the issue of conflict of interest. So if you're a minister and a cabinet minister, it means that you have certain information that other businessmen ordinarily would not have. So, for instance, if this came to cabinet and cabinet agreed that let's sell this hotel for 10 million, but if someone comes and says we'll offer 8 million, we'll accept it, and you are sitting in there, that means you have a privileged information in terms of how you can structure your bid. That will mean that you get that edge over other businessmen. And so there's that conflict of interest angle. But legally speaking, strictly speaking, there's no law that anybody has cited because in Ghana we do not have that stringent conflict of interest laws. But the conflict of interest matter is what has been at the heart of this, that despite he being a businessman willing to do business with government, he cannot be in government seeking to do business with himself.
The optics matter, and we've got reactions from Labour. I mean, their money that's being invested in this. What have they been saying?
Well, they say that they are completely opposed to it. Of course, they've received some flack on their own because Organised Labour have four board members on the SSNIT board, four key persons who sit on the SSNIT board, who critics like Okudjota Blackwell and Dr. Dan Sedo, formerly of the NPR, have all said that they should have been able to raise the red flags when this deal was at this early stage. But this is the point where the deal is at almost the concluding stage. In fact, today we've seen documents that Labadi Beach Hotel are being asked, for instance, to open its door to Rock City Hotel employees to come and check assets and all that. That means the deal is almost done. And now organized labor say they are against this, and they are also against the deal going through, and they want the president to speak to it. But of course, people have been defending it also. The Minister for Information, Fatima Abubakar, only yesterday in a meeting with Joy Management and speaking to why this is important. He says that the conflict of interest issues people have raised does not arise, and that Brian is a businessman just doing business.
And she also said in that interview that she believes that this will aid in restructuring of SSNIT, which we all
especially
expect.
on the back of this ILO report that said they are struggling.
Let's take a listen to her.
If there was a decision over 5 years by the fund managers that we want to divest, let us get other people who are able to inject capital so that these facilities are revamped, they are fixed in such a way that they will be competitive and generate more revenue. It's a good thing to do. Most of the successful businesses, when it comes to state-owned interests, you realize that the current trends everywhere is that they are running JVs, joint ventures, bring other people with capital, give them some shares. Also, not just about the money that they inject in, but also the technical capacity. It is not given that if you're a fund manager, you also have expertise in running hotels. So for sustainable models to run, it is also important that you bring people who have experience and who have capacity to run. And it is also interesting that people have forgotten that Rock City is now known as one of the biggest, if not the biggest, hotel facility in the sub-region.
Well, there's a lot of backlash following this submission by the Information Minister. What does her reaction say about the posture of government in all of this?
It gives you a clear understanding of what government is saying. This is the Information Minister. This is the person communicating for government, speaking the mind of government. So it tells you that government really do not see any wrong with this deal. But like you said, if you go on social media, there are so many people who clearly say that the minister is not really abreast with matters of conflict of interest. And like you said, the optics, it really matters. Even if everything is up to board, and in fact, he's offering the best deal, this is someone who did. How can you shake off the conflict of interest allegations that have come in? And so people have criticized the minister for making those comments. They believe that she should have really been open to this idea of conflict of interest. There are still persons who are asking Parliament, for instance, to investigate. Parliament has not returned from its break. We do not know when they are going to come, whether they are going to come at the end of this month or probably the early part of June. So a lot of questions still lingering as to whether or not this deal goes ahead, or maybe government will stop it in its tracks.
Do we anticipate any political damage following this?
Well, in terms of the span of the Ghanaian mind, it's been quoted that former President Obama said, listen, Ghanaians forget easily. We have about 6 months to the general election, or 7 months if you want to add December itself. There are those who say that this is only Brian Achampon at the center of this. You can't implicate the broader New Patriotic Party. But perhaps where this might have some political significance is that Brian Achampon is in the running to, for instance, be picked as running mate to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He's still not picked somebody to partner him into 2024. The Vice President will be looking at it and saying, am I going to pick somebody who civil society is on his back, saying that he's seeking to profiteer unduly from the state? And so Brian Achampon, for instance, will be looking at that to say that, listen, if this perhaps will affect a bigger opportunity to be Vice President, for instance, then I might probably want to put my tracks on that. But in terms of the bigger politics and stuff going into 2024, the New Patriotic Party is not expected to suffer any damage at all from this. It is the NDC who are seeking to ride on this to show that, listen, the New Patriotic Party are just a bunch of crooks who are just stealing state assets. But that's the allegation, really unproven yet. But it is up to the Ghanaians to decide in 2024.
Where do you draw the line between being a businessman and a politician? Thank you so much, Kwekwa Asante with our political desk, with today's segment, Business and Politics. You're watching The Marketplace. We're still covering some more news for you this afternoon. Deputy Minister for Education, Kingsley Nyako, has stressed the need to grow Ghana's digital economy to create more jobs for the teeming youth. According to him, improving the competency of Ghana's skilled workforce is critical to growing a digital economy that businesses can take advantage of. He was speaking at an industry engagement forum organized by Industry Immersion Africa.
The Industry Engagement Forum focused on fostering collaborative pathways for digital transformation in Ghana. At the forum, Deputy Minister of Education Kingsley Nyako said the contribution of the digital economy to Ghana's development is critical, hence the need to improve the skills of the labor force in the sector.
We need to step up our efforts with improved levels of collaboration and expertise of educators, industry leaders, and policymakers. We need to create a skilled workforce that is equipped to thrive in the fourth industrial revolution. And we are cognizant of the challenges that lie ahead, and as such, we must forever ensure that our labor market is agile, adaptable, and responsive to the needs of industry and society.
Country Director of the MasterCard Foundation called for collaborative efforts that will enable innovation and investment into the digital ecosystem.
The Foundation acknowledges that technologies such as artificial intelligence and the fourth industrial revolution will shape and play a key role as we advance towards our 2030 ambition. These are already redefining industries, empowering individuals, and driving economic growth and social progress. I am proud that Ghana, with its vibrant economy, tech-savvy, youthful population, and forward-looking government, is uniquely positioned to become a beacon of innovation and a hub for AI and the fourth industrial revolution development in Africa. By harnessing the power of these technologies, we can unlock new opportunities for the citizens of this great nation, especially young people, who are the center of what the Foundation is committed to do in Ghana. However, achieving this requires a collaborative and strategic approach. It demands partnerships between government, academia, industry, and civil society.
Industry Immersion Africa aims to enhance the employability of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics graduates.
And that's the marketplace. Thanks for watching. There is more news on our website, myjournalline.com/business. The day's latest stories over there. My name is Darryl Kwap. Thanks for watching. We will be back same time tomorrow.